Just moments ago, OpenAI released its powerful new OpenAI o1 model. And the focus of this model is that it was trained to perform reasoning tasks. This is particularly fascinating to me because I've always really kind of paid attention to the way that these models reason in the first place. Because after all, Aristotle, who for human purposes was the one who discovered reasoning and logic, he uncovered logic by realizing that there's a structure to sentences. There's a structure to rhetoric that doesn't matter what the content is. It's just a P and a Q, and you can abstract the details from these particular sentences, and then you can lift out its formal structure. So it stands to reason that models could reason as well. So I thought it would be kind of fun to do a couple of things called logic puzzles. These are just standard puzzles, changed them around a little bit. These are puzzles that you can find elsewhere, but I switched up the names and the subjects and the answers in order to make sure that we weren't just finding these exact questions to the logic puzzles indexed inside the training data. So for example, I'm going to just simply ask this question. Over on the left-hand side, I will ask the question to the previous model, GPT4o. This is not the new one. This is the GPT4o, which was before today, the standard issue. So 5 people were eating pears. A finished before B, but behind C. D finished before E, but behind B. What was the finishing order? And the answer is actually C, A, B, D, E. So let's see how it came up with that answer. So we got the right answer, the finishing order C, A, B, D, E. But now let's take a look, see how the new o1 model processes this logic puzzle. So first of all, you'll notice that it takes a little bit more time. That's the whole idea here. I like how they put the thought for a couple of seconds in there. And so then it came up with the approach. So this is what's commonly referred to as chain of thought, and it comes up with its own chain of thought. It's actually been apparently programmed to show a bit of the chain of thought as well too. So it's saying it finished before B, so this implies C finished before A. It's really showing its work, and you'll see it goes all the way down to the finishing order, and let's see if we get the correct answer. C, A, B, D, E. That is correct. So we end up with the same answer, but we're seeing more of the reasoning. It takes a little bit more time to do that. I like to refer to this as system 1 versus system 2 thinking. So here on screen on the left-hand side, we're seeing an example of OpenAI and their GPT models in a system 1. And then on the right-hand side, we're seeing kind of a glimpse into what will eventually become system 2 thinking, but the closest thing that we've ever had to it. So let's take another logic puzzle. This is the day before 2 days after the day before tomorrow is Saturday. What day is it today? So that answer is supposed to be Friday. So let's take a look. Actually, this is pretty interesting. It actually broke this down into steps and it came up with that answer. So good job, GPT4o, but let's see how the new o1 does it. Again, it's taking more time to think, which is fine. I prefer the right answer rather than a quick answer. I don't want my models doing heuristics. So let's see what it said here. So it went into, let's simplify the statement by starting from the innermost part. Okay, good. We like to see the inner to outer logic there. So the day before tomorrow is today. Calculate 2 days before tomorrow. Great. Tomorrow is Saturday. And the answer is Friday. So the idea is, you see that these are actually coming to the same conclusion, but it's really how they're doing that. And I think that's really, really important when it gets to more profound logic puzzles or more profound reasoning than we're playing with here. So let's do a couple of quick ones. Here we have a girl meets a dog and a griffin in the forest. The dog lies every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and the other days he speaks the truth. The griffin lies on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and the other days of the week he speaks the truth. So yesterday I was lying, the dog said to the girl. So was I, said the griffin. What day is it? So you're actually seeing some reasoning here on the left-hand side with ChatGPT. And the answer, by the way, is Thursday. So we got the correct answer. Let's look at how o1 processes this. Again, taking a little bit of time to think, assessing the statements. I like how it's giving us the, analyzing truth-telling, evaluating the scenario, evaluating truthfulness and the timeline. I really like these updates. It's pretty fascinating. So let's see the griffin's truthfulness thought for 15 seconds. I do like that it's reporting back how much time it's taking. That's pretty cool. And so let's see, we got the dog, that's where it lies, the griffin, statements it made, the objective, logical analysis. This is great. Conclusion is Thursday. I'm going to do a couple more of these, but really the idea here is that this is how you can actually write your prompting. This is really chain of thought. So what it's doing is it's taking the problem and it's breaking it down to the chain of thought. So for those of you that have wanted to get into chain of thought prompting, it's really doing it for you and it's showing its work. And if you don't want to do chain of thought, it's actually doing it on your behalf. So let's do another one here. Let's do the old way and the new way. So on the left-hand side, you're shown a set of 4 cards placed on a table, each of which has a number on one side and a color on the other. The visible faces of the cards show 3, 8, yellow, and orange. Which cards must you turn over in order to test that card to see if it shows an even number on one face and the opposite face is yellow? Wow, how do we even follow that, right? Well, the answer is, in fact, turn over the 8 card and the orange card. And we did get that correct answer. So a little bit of showing the work here. I like that, right? Came pretty quickly. The card must be turned over, the ones showing the 8 and the orange. Fantastic. So let's go see how we get this in the new O1 preview. So the idea here is that the 3 card is yellow, doesn't violate the rule. The rule makes no claims about odd numbers. If the 8 card is not yellow, it violates the rule. The yellow card is odd or even, it doesn't violate the rule. The yellow card is not exclusive to even numbers. So the orange card is even, it violates the rule. So that's kind of where it comes up with that. So let's see. So understanding the conditional statement. I mentioned P and Q earlier. This is really the heart of this reasoning. So this is really cool that it actually calls that out implicitly. I'm pretty excited about that. P is true, Q is false, but P is true. This is really how you determine and deconstruct logic. This is really interesting what we're seeing here. So analyzing each card, it's got the 3 and the 8, yellow and the orange, and an action. That's cool too. And what do we get? Yeah, turn over the cards showing 8 and orange to test the statement. That is pretty awesome. So let me do another one. I'm going to do one more. These are getting progressively more complex. These, when I first curated these logic puzzles, I was actually intending to test out GPT-3 with these originally, but I'm glad that I waited to see how 4 and 4 or O1 does. So let's see here. We've got, this one is a line truth category one. Man caught on the queen's property. He's brought before the queen to be punished. The queen says, you must give a statement. If it's true, you'll be killed by lions. If it's false, you'll be killed by trampling of wild buffalo. If you can't figure it out, I'll have to let you go. And so what was the man? Let's see what he said. The man could have said, that's interesting, I will be killed by the buffalo. And then explains why it works. So if the statement's true, the man would be killed by lions, right? However, if it contradicts the truth of the statement, which says he'll be killed by buffalo. Okay, interesting. The statement is false. He should be killed by the wild buffalo, but that would make the statement come true, creating a paradox. Interesting. Since the queen cannot determine whether the statement is true or false, she's forced to let the man go. Perfect. So yes, the answer is I will be killed by trampling of a wild buffalo, but wild buffalo is fine. Let's see how O1 does this. So again, I'm really entertained by its updates here, examining the logic, crafting the paradox, assessing the dilemma. That's so cool. Thought for 7 seconds, and here we go. So here's the queen's conditions. Let's see if it goes into that P and Q, the man's statement. Oh, wow, it went right to it. And then so after the answer this time, it's actually breaking this down for us. Conclusion. Assuming that the statement is false. Oh, great. It calls out the paradox. How fun is that? The statement cannot be true or false without causing a contradiction. Therefore, the queen cannot determine the truth's value. Great. That's the queen's dilemma. This logic puzzle is actually called the queen's dilemma, by the way. The man said, you will kill me by trampling of a wild buffalo. So a tad bit more accurate. And crafting a self-referential statement creates a paradox, which is so cool. Okay, so let's do another logic puzzle. So one more here. The Sally and Lori one. I've changed up some of these names just because I don't want it, again, to find it in its training data. So Sally and Lori decided to play tennis against each other. They bet $1 on the game they played. Sally won 3 bets. Lori won 5. How many games did they play? This one's a little bit easier than the previous one because it doesn't include a paradox, but the answer is 11. Shows its work. 3 plus 8 equals 11. Sure enough. And let's take a look at the O1 preview. So think about this. Because Lori lost 3 games to Sally, she had lost $3, $1 per game. So she had to win back that $3 with 3 more games. That's the key here, then win another 5 games to win $5. So let's see if it captured that. Sally won 3. Yep. 5, $1. Each game represents the bet of $1. That's correct. Yeah, there we go. Net gain. That's really what the whole puzzle is. Here's the net gain. Ooh, I like what we're getting with the math. Now keep in mind, O1 preview, it has some additional training on math and science. So that's why we're seeing this kind of breakdown. Oh my gosh. Sally's net gain. And then we calculate the total games as G. They played 11 games in total. Oh my God, this is so much fun. Okay, well, let's do some more. This one's pretty easy. See if you can follow along with this one. If 5 cats can catch 5 birds in 5 minutes, how long will it take each one of the cats to catch one bird? Well, the answer is 5 minutes, just to see. Oh, there we go. It could take 5 minutes for the cat to catch one bird. Let's see how quickly O1 does this. Thinking, breaking down the problem. And, using the information we know, it would take one cat 25 minutes to catch all 5 birds. That's 5 times 5. And then working backwards, dividing 25 by 5, we get 5 minutes. One cat to catch 5 birds. So yes, the answer is 5 minutes. We got that on the left. Oh, I love this, seeing its work. Uniform rates, direct proportion, consistency. Oh man. Ooh, alternate perspective. Oh, it came up with a completely different perspective that has the same answer. That is really pretty cool. Okay, let's get back into the more complex stuff. So here I'm going to show on the left hand side the logic puzzle of there are 3 bags, each containing 2 marbles. Bag A contains 2 blue marbles, bag B contains 2 black marbles, and bag C contains 1 blue marble and 1 black marble. Now you're going to pick a random bag and take out 1 marble, which is blue. What is the probability that the remaining marble from the same bag is also? Ooh, this one is doing a very O1 type breakdown. Love the calculations. We've seen this kind of stuff before in ChatGPT4. Oh, Bayes' theorem. That's interesting. So you don't have bag B because bag A has 2 blue marbles. So you would have picked the either marble. If you think of it as 4 marbles in total from bags A and C, 3 blue and 1 black, that means you have a greater chance of picking another blue marble. So let's see, the probability that the remaining marble is blue is 2/3. So it's 2 out of 3 is what the answer is. So yeah, this is correct. Oh, really? Bayes' theorem. That's interesting. So let's now try the same thing on this side. Remember, the answer is 2 out of 3. Okay, weighing the odds. I like it. Assessing the marbles, pulling together the probabilities. I really love how what it's doing there in these updates is showing the chain of thought and the reasoning steps. So this is really pretty cool. Identifying the bags. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so like I was saying before, the A, B, and C marbles. Marble you draw is blue. Okay, great. So identifying them, 1/3. Let's see if it actually applies Bayes. Ah, it does apply. Use Bayes' theorem to find the posterior probabilities. Wow, that's so cool. And survey says 2 out of 3. That's fantastic. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, continuing on with a couple more of our experiments. You've got, let's see, have 5 boxes in a row numbered 1 through 5, in which a mouse is hiding. Every night he jumps into an adjacent box, and every morning you have 1 chance to open the box to find him. How will you win this game of hide and seek? This is fun. So we come up with a strategy, check each box every day, and then on morning 5, check box 3 again. It's actually, the answer is check boxes 2, 3, and 4 in order until you find him. So let's see. So 2, 3, and 4, maybe not what we were looking for. So it should be 2, 3, and 4 until you find him. Let's see what we get over here. Because he's either in an odd or even numbered box. If he's in an even box, 2 or 4, and you check box 2, if you don't know, he was in box 4, which means the next night he would either move to box 3 or 5. So the next morning, check box 3 and so on. So if you check boxes 2 and 3 and 4 in that order, you'll find him within 2 rounds, or in 1 round if you do 2, 3, and 4, followed by another round of 2, 3, and 4. So let's see that. Okay, that's cool. So phase 1, move from left to right or right to left. It's day 1, 1 through 5. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Okay, it talks about why random guessing won't work. So the final strategy is sequentially open boxes 1 through 5. That's kind of what this said. Then sequentially open boxes 4 back to 1. Repeat the sequence until the mouse is found. Well, that is interesting. So technically the answer for this is check boxes 2, 3, and 4 in order until you find him. But I almost wonder if there are alternative methods here. So now I'm going to use one that's actually quite popular. It's called the Monty Hall, which may be familiar to some of you. So the Monty Hall problem was made famous, of course, but it actually appeared in Parade magazine under the Ask Maryland column in 1990. It was so counterintuitive that everybody from high school students to top mathematical minds questioned the answer. But let's rest assured the solution is accurate. Named for the Let's Make a Deal game show host, the puzzle goes like this. You're having 3 doors to choose from, and one of which contains a car and the other 2 contain a chicken. You've probably seen the show, so you get it. After you've chosen one but haven't opened it, Dylan, who knows everything, where everything is, reveals the location of the chicken from behind one of the 2 doors. Should you stick with your original choice or switch if you want the car? Now, the answer is you should switch. This is a tricky one. So let's see what we come up. Initially choose the 3 doors. Dylan reveals the chicken. So you should always switch. Fantastic. Okay, great. So let's see what we get over here. So really the way this works is at the beginning, your choice starts out as 1 in 3 chances of picking a car. The 2 doors with chickens contain 2/3 of the chance, but since Dylan knows and shows you where one of the chickens is, that 2/3 chance now rests solely with the 3rd door. So your choice retains its original 1 in 3 chance, then you're more likely to pick a chicken to begin with. So the odds are better if you switch, is what the idea is. So let's see. Oh, it comes up with the answer first in 11 seconds. Less time than it took me to explain the answer. You should switch to the other unopened door to maximize your chances. 3 doors. Dylan reveals the chicken. There it is. 1 to 1/3. Your chance of winning increases. And it explains why switching works. This is so cool. Car, the chicken. There's your 2 chickens, the summary of the outcome. So you double. That's interesting. You effectively double your chances of winning the car. The initial 1/3 probability having chosen the car doesn't change. So you should switch to the unopened door. Okay, now we're going to do a really complex one here. This to end this whole demonstration. So this is a conundrum, a variation on a line truth problem. It's famously been called the hardest logic puzzle ever. So this is how it goes. You've met 3 deities on a mountaintop. One tells the truth, one always lies. One tells the truth and lies randomly. We can call them truth, false, and random. They understand English, but answer in their own language with yeppers or nope. I kind of changed that part. So yeppers or nope, for yes and no, but you don't know which is which. You can ask 3 questions to any of the deities, and then you can ask the same deity more than 1 question, and they will appear to answer with yeppers or nope. So what 3 questions should you ask to figure out who's who? Now the answer is the deity in the middle. Ask the deity in the middle of your first question. If I asked you whether the deity on my left is random, would you answer yeppers? That's what the answer is. So let's see. The classic puzzle. I changed it up to yeppers and nope. If you asked, is it true? Would they say yeppers? Let's see what we get on the bottom. These are actually very similar. So you can see that GPT4o does a pretty good job. Ask deity A the first question to determine if it's true or false. Ask deity B. So actually this one might not be the correct answer. So you're supposed to ask the deity in the middle. So let's see what we get. So let's try this. Let's see what O1, known as the hardest logic puzzle ever. Let's see what O1 says. It's identifying the deities. There are a couple alternatives. You could ask the deity you definitely know isn't random a question. You could say, if I were to ask you if you were truth, would you say yeppers? Or you could say to random, if I asked you if you're the deity in the middle is random, would you say yeppers? So there's a couple of different ways that you could do multiple steps on this. But so first off, oh wait, here we go. Now you ask the third deity. No, that's not correct. So it would be the one in the middle. So it would be B. Okay, let's see if we get a little bit better one. So this it's really taking its time now. Of course, it is the hardest logic question ever. At some point, at least that was determined. So let's see what we get here. Okay, so here we go. We're thinking, breaking down the puzzle. Let's hope we don't break the model. Formulating the question, crafting an adaptive question, formulating the question. This is so entertaining. Defining deity responses, cool. Crafting a question, revisiting the methodology, adjusting the approach. Oh, it has a sense of self. Revisiting the approach. They called it my approach earlier. That's interesting. And then crafting the function. And let's see, survey says. Okay, that was 72 seconds. So to solve this complex logic puzzle, we will craft deity truth, false, and random. There we go, yeppers and nope. And the language barrier, the strategy, determine logical foundations. We can address this, the question. Okay, question 1, ask deity A. Outcome, determine who's not random. So it's going through the sequential outcome. Let's go to the bottom and see what it comes up with. So the 3 questions you ask are, if I were to ask you, is deity B random, would you say yes? And if you recall from moments ago, the answer is, if I were to ask you whether deity on my left is random, would you answer yeppers? So that's actually correct. And then would you say that if yeppers means yes, then it would only be truth? And is deity C random? So if I would ask you if you're a truth, would you say yes? Yeah. And then the last one is, if I asked you if the deity in the middle is random, would you say yeppers? So is deity C random? So that is really fascinating to me. So now one last little fun thing that we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and create a new, and we're going to widen things out a little bit. First of all, notice that you can only put text in here instead, files and whatnot. So I don't know if it makes too much sense for multimodal yet, but it's certainly going to come. So this is actually a little bit of fun here. Okay, for a little bit of fun, for those of you that know Princess Bride, you probably already know what this scene is. It's the famous Battle of wit scene from 1987. So I'm not going to play it, but for those of you that are familiar with it, you know it's kind of fun. But instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed that right in. I'm going to feed the script from this between Vizzini and Dread Pirate Roberts right into, this is just kind of a fun palette cleanser, into ChatGPT-o1 preview. And let's see. Oh, did you see that? It said it was navigating OpenAI's copyright. Interesting. So now it says, after being urged to make his choice, Vizzini uses a distraction to his advantage. He points behind Dread Roberts, exclaiming something. So let's see. And then Dread Roberts reveals, okay, points behind, confident that he's outsmarted by his opponent. Well, that's just a summary. That's not fun, but I thought that was kind of interesting that we saw the, can we click on these? Yeah, look at this. So at the very least, we can check this out. So first, it's generating ideas. It's interesting that the second one was the OpenAI's copyright guidelines. Interesting. And then examining the scene. It does have that sense of self, which is clever. Yep, crafting and deceiving strategy. Okay, wow, that's pretty cool. So I would urge you to not only pay attention to the steps, but maybe expand these and check them out and play with your own logic here. So this was 10 logic puzzles and a bonus where we were comparing ChatGPT4o against the new, just came out today, o1 preview inside ChatGPT. Hope you enjoyed this. Look forward to posting more experiments shortly.